And we are back in the Nightmare Cabin. Welcome to episode number 7 of Maidencast. I'm your host, Joe Denby, and I'm joined as ever by my co-host, my head of her life mate, my best friend, the man that converted me to being an Iron Maiden fan and got me into this mess. And it's the reason I have no money, Mr. Luke Nash. How are you?
I'm all right, guys. I'm all right. I've been relegated to the bedroom because the missus is working from home and he's on a meeting, so hence the lovely purple-pink background.
I did a night shift last night and woke up about 12:30, quickly ran to the barber's and then jumped in the shower and here I am. I'm ready. So,
fucking barbers. You're supposed to be metal, son. I ain't had a haircut for fucking hell.
Barbers, not hairdressers. Barbers is for men. Hairdressers for Avenged Sevenfold fans. You got to look smart. You know what I mean? And none of that. I can't have long hair because I am the Paul Diano type. And when my hair grows long, I look like Shane Embry from Napalm Death. So
ain't done him any harm.
Yeah. So we don't all have long, straight hair, and we don't look. You know, if I look like Pete Steele, I'd be all right. But
my hair and my beard are now the same length. If I tie them up, I look like Captain Caveman.
Like Cousin It.
Yeah. Fucking awesome.
So
too metal for anyone.
I just saw a sparrow just poke his head out your beard. Actually, it must be a nest in there.
That's it, mate. Yeah, do my bit for nature as well.
Right. So we tied up with our mate Paul last week with the
fucking
masterpiece that was Diano, and a masterpiece for all the wrong reasons. A failed experiment.
Yeah. Well, that was like fucking Operation Mindcrime compared to the thing we reviewed after it.
Well, yeah. Less said about that project, the better. I think everyone would prefer to forget about that. But of course, no stone is being unturned in this show. We will be covering the complete catalogue and all the little nooks and crannies in between. And I think it's pretty much. I think there's a couple of albums coming up actually that I'm not looking forward to, but that's going to be right at the end. So onwards and upwards. So we touched base with Paul last week. He's going to come back next week though with a much better band, which we'll cover when we get to it. But the Maiden boys, after a bit of recuperation with the longest tour ever. Was it the longest tour ever? I think the longest tour ever was the Black Album.
Yeah, I don't think it was the longest tour. It was definitely Maiden's longest tour ever. When it was pretty nigh on like fucking a year, 331 days or something.
It was. I think it's set a standard as well. I think they must have set a record of some sorts, and then the next band come up.
Back in '85, it would have been pretty much unheard of. I would have thought. Because it weren't like they go out for a year and do a gig every fucking 3 days. They were doing 5 gigs a night, weren't they? You know, so it's 6 gigs a night, perhaps. That's in the night, 6 gigs a week. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's have a quick.
Proper going hardcore.
I've got the other one down there, but yeah. After a bit of recuperation, Bruce Dickinson went a bit mad. He spent £400 on a curry because he wanted a curry, and they went, "Yeah, but we're going to have to fly one in." I don't care. I want a curry. I'll pay it.
Rockstar time, isn't it?
So, yeah.
Like, yes.
And he said in an interview, he goes like, "Now, if I read that, I'd have gone, what a wanker." He went, but if I didn't have a curry that night, I would have gone insane. So he got a bit burnt out, shall we say. The tour concluded with a 4-night residency. Come on, Luke, help me out. What was the place that live?
Over you mean?
No, they did Hammersmith Odeon here, didn't they, for a couple of nights? But I think was it the last night of the tour where they recorded Live After Death, or?
Yeah, you mean Long Beach Arena, didn't you?
Long Beach Arena. There's 4 nights there. Rod booked it, and Bruce went, "I'm doing it, but I need a break. I've had enough." and he nearly quit music. Then he got a bit weird and wanted to do acoustic stuff.
Yeah, that's what. Well, his reasoning behind it, actually, he was like, to be fair to him, I thought it made sense. It didn't make sense for Maiden, but it made sense because his reasoning was, we're going to get stale if we keep doing the same thing. So the reasoning behind it was sound. Yeah. The reasoning behind it was sound, but obviously for Maiden, it ain't going to work. And, you know, I think Steve said he lost the plot, in inverted commas. So that could very well be the beginning of the end for that first, you know, it could have all, the roots could have started there, which is why he left, felt a bit confined, you know, obviously wanted to do his own shit.
Yeah, I think we can look into it. I think, at the end of the day, I think you had two alphas in the band. I think Bruce wanted to do his own thing. I think he was well aware of what he brought to the band and how much he, you know, contributed to the band's up in a level. But at the end of the day, Steve is the guy that formed the band, and what he says goes. And I think they kind of rubbed each other up the wrong way. That was always a given.
And plus, I think always Rod is always with Steve.
Yeah, and
so you're fighting a losing battle.
I think as well when Bruce went on to do the Tattooed Millionaire album, I think that he kind of went, oh, I can do this on my own, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the seeds were sown.
Yeah, big time.
And they weren't that big. It weren't that long a time period, really, because we're still on the album a year.
Yeah, it was 4 years.
Yeah,
it was 4 years later, Tattooed Millionaire. So,
but yeah, we'll get to that again. We'll cross that bridge and come to it. So this album is solely written by Steve Harris and Adrian Smith. Dave Murray contributes to one song. Not solely though. But no, he doesn't, does he? Yes, yeah, Murray and Harris does Deja Vu.
Yeah.
And then they're all solely written by Steve Harris or Adrian Smith. Otherwise,
there's no collabs, is it, except for Deja Vu?
Yeah.
But Adrian really stepped up to the mark with Bruce sort of being burnt out. Adrian was like, right, my time, and fucking hell, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think let's just talk a little bit about where this sort of sits really in the catalogue, because there is a massive stylistic change.
Yeah, it's to coin a phrase that you said earlier. It's earlier on in our series. This is the bridge between one era and another era, because they'd reached it, as we both agreed. The Maiden project reached its pinnacle with Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
Yeah.
Or obviously it started out at the end of Killers. They've gone as far as they can go with Di'Anno. They get Dickinson in, and that builds and builds till they reach their pinnacle with Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, which was obviously the end of Power Slave. And this was the first album to use guitar synths, so they felt they needed to push it even further.
Yeah,
and I know Adrian Smith was a massive proponent of using technology.
Yeah, and I think this is the first one where they really managed to have a clean slate as well, because as we discussed with Peace of Mind, especially Peace of Mind and Power Slave, is that there was a lot of filler on those albums. They kind of reached, they always up the scale in terms of songwriting, but there was always a bit of just stick it on the album to fill it up, because they were hitting the ground running and never really having a lot of time to prepare. But it looks like they did actually have some time off on this one.
Well, they did, because apparently it's because of the new technology. Steve Harris had made a conscious decision to actually take the time to learn how to use the technology properly.
Yeah.
And that shows, because the sounds they get out of it, the album sounds fucking phenomenal. But
there's a certain sound and style on this album which
doesn't like nothing before it and like nothing after it for me.
Yeah, because they literally just do it for this album only, and then they move on. And for better for worse, some people think this is Maiden's best ever album, and some people think it's their worst.
Those people need to be recaptured, because
I think if I'm honest with myself, though, I'm going to turn this over just so that's clear. If I'm honest with myself, I think I would have been one of the people that was pissed off with this when it came out. The way I am. I am enjoying this because I've got it in hindsight and I've got the whole catalogue and I can see it in perspective. But I can imagine it when this came out, me going, "Fuck off! I want." Yeah.
See, I was drawn to this because obviously I discovered it, long after it came out. Well, not long after, but you're talking 9-10 years after.
I probably would have come round, but I was
drawn to it. I was drawn to it straight away. It was like fucking hell. That from minute one to minute fucking 50, whatever it is, 51, 52. I think it's the longest album at the time, and it just hooks me, and it still does to this day.
It does me. This is a great album. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if I was one of those people that was going to the Marquee, to the Ruskin Arms, and I was there when the first album came out, I bought the Soundhouse tapes. I'm saying if I was one of them, I could see the change in this album kind of going, not sure. That's all. I can see just the way I am, because I'm a bit of a prick when it comes to stuff like that. But
that's out of my mouth.
But no, I do love this album. I've got a lot of good things to say about it, and I think they constantly moved on. They did it on this.
Yeah, they always try to.
And then they moved on again, and I think because of that is why I like this more. I think they unwittingly did on this album what Def Leppard tried to do, but they actually pulled it off. Not that Def Leppard didn't pull it off because they're now all multi-millionaires, but just to I don't like that Hysteria. Is it Hysteria? Pyromania. Yeah.
Mind you, it was Pyromania that started that sound off.
Yeah, I don't like really. What's it called? Pyromania. I was going to call it Paranoia. I was thinking, no. I like Photograph in a begrudgingly way. It's like, yeah, this is actually really good. I can't help but like that song. But yeah. Hysteria, it kind of was this futuristic. I don't know. The album cover of that encapsulates that album perfectly, and I just feel the whole futuristic vibe is pulled off better on this.
It's weird. It's almost like a concept album, even though it didn't set out to be one.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting at. It was
the artwork, the sound, even the songs about obviously time and Loneliness of Long Distance Runner, Deja Vu, Wasted Years, Heaven Can Wait. They all sort of tie in to time, even though it's they'd say that it wasn't obviously done that way. But I think deep down there was something drawing them, because obviously the next album was a concept album, although a failed one.
Yeah.
So they obviously had it in mind.
This one comes together a lot better as a concept album than Seventh Son.
Yeah.
As much as I like Seventh Son, it is a flawed album, it's got to be said. But a flawed masterpiece, if you will. It's not that the music's bad, but yeah, the whole concept thing just falls apart. We'll get to that later. Yeah. So, I mean, I think hands down the best artwork ever.
Oh yeah, it's like the fucking Sistine Chapel of art, isn't it? I mean, you might imagine it took so long, and it's a fucking masterpiece, mate. I mean, even if you ain't into metal, you ain't into Maiden, you ain't into fucking anything like that, you're a hip hop fucking rapper, fucking into grime or anything like that, you'd look at this artwork and go, fuck's sake, that's proper, and it is just, you could lose yourself down a rabbit hole, couldn't you, looking at it?
I've done it, yeah. I mean, did you know Batman's on it?
Yes.
The TARDIS?
Yes.
Yeah, and I've actually, I've looked at an article which pointed it all out, and I even think that article missed a few. You actually need to read more than one.
Yeah. Apparently, somewhere on there it says this is a very boring painting.
Yeah, I've read that as well.
Got pissed off doing it, so that's why I compare it to the Sistine Chapel. It's like you almost went blind fucking doing it,
And yeah, I mean, I get really nostalgic listening to this because this really does capture, I don't know, just a time of.
Yes. And again, it that concept brings you back, and it captures a time. It captures a certain period of time where, all around that time you had the synth wave and new wave sound and all the rest of it. I mean, they did what Paul Di'Anno was trying to do on Di'Anno.
Yeah, exactly.
Ironically, and it's
there's it's just. Do you remember the excitement you would get? And a lot of people might not remember this, but the excitement you would get going to the video shop.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time, mate.
Or going into the shop that sells the tellies, and it would have the computer console in the corner.
Yeah.
And you, fucking hell, it was just the future. Is
Yeah.
We thought 2020 was going to look like. Well, it didn't, did it? Couldn't have gone further wrong.
I think when 2020 is supposed to look like something out of Jetsons by now.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers Jetsons. And
all the futuristic films we've like now surpassed. I mean, we're past Blade Runner. We're past
Back to the Future 2. We're past. We're supposed to have fucking hologram films and all that by now, weren't you?
Yeah.
Flying cars
Akira,
and all that.
I watched Akira the other day with my son, and that blew his mind. And that's aged wonderfully. That film, it's perfect mix between computer graphics.
Yeah, I never dug it really, but I never really dug anime or manga in general. So
I dipped my toe in it. I'm not one who's well into it. I sort of I did the surface level, and that was that. So Akira is a fantastic film, and I think it's kind of like the way. I think that one can appeal to anyone. It was it broke free of the genre it was in, a bit like the way Metallica broke free of the thrash genre. You can, or even Iron Maiden broke free of any genre. The people that aren't even into heavy metal can take on those bands. I think if you're not into anime, you can still watch Akira and enjoy it. And but anyway, that's what this is about. It brings when I just get that feeling of being a kid and being excited to see a film or play a game, or there was excitement that something cool was going to happen. And I get that, certain things just aren't exciting as you grow up. But even like going to the cinema and, when those adverts start coming on, you go, fucking hell. I get that again whilst listening to this album. It captures that perfectly. And, I do think it's that cityscape on this album cover. You do just fall into it, and this is exactly how you pictured like London to be, or something like that in the future. And it's got the whole nighttime scape in the background as well. Even the sky on it looks fucking amazing. And I think that leads us into the first song. Those opening notes of "Caught Somewhere in Time."
It's fucking so in your face, so heavy, and the first thing you hear is the synth. Synth comes in a split second before the actual guitar, and it's just like, fucking bang. I mean, although there's no bass or drums on it, it's so heavy for Maiden, especially.
Yeah,
it's like fucking hell. What is this? And the riff's so good. It's such a good intro, and it's a perfect opener. Yeah. Masterfully produced by Martin Masa Birch, MASA for some reason. I don't know if that's a backhanded thing, produced in the Bahamas, Maiden trying to be being borderline racist. I don't know, but yeah, I mean the production's awesome. It's the first time ever you can hear Nico like really hear his kick drums, and when the song kicks in, you hear that gallop that he's noted for, how he does it on one pedal. But it's a brilliant production. I think one of Maiden's very best.
It's funny as well because although it's got that, it gets a big thing about this is the album where keyboards were introduced, but the keyboards are never overpowering. There's no there's no keyboard solo. There's no main riff. They complement in the background.
Yeah, they complement the riffs and all that, and just give you that sense of atmosphere.
Yeah, it was only ever the synths on this album are like sugar in a coffee. It's not.
Yeah, they make it more palatable. That's a good analogy actually. Yeah, they complement it well.
But apart from that, this is still very much a typical Iron Maiden song. It's
they haven't changed their style. They've augmented their sound, if anything, and it's it works from minute to end, from opening to end of this track. I mean, it really sets the tone for the album. I mean, fucking hell, it's I mean, it's 7.5 minutes. To open an album with a 7.5 minute track, you've got to have some balls anyway. But by this time, Maiden had balls coming out their eyes. You know, they were fucking world beaters.
I don't think he.
Like, fuck it, let's go.
I didn't even notice it was 7 minutes either.
That's what I mean. It just flies by, doesn't it? You know, with just masterful musicianship, what you come to expect from Maiden. And, you know, Harris is really saying, right, we're fucking here. This is us and this is us. Because, you know, I know we had Live After Death in 85, but this is the first studio album for 2 years. And they really thrown down a marker.
Yeah. I think as well, that's the marker of a good long song as well, as when you don't notice.
Yes,
and I always say, when you try to write one, that's always when it goes wrong. A long song should happen by accident.
Yeah.
And but I love that riff as well. It's so fucking atmospheric. That
yeah. Yes.
And yeah, an underused song actually. I'd be more than happy for them to pull this one out the bag.
Oh fucking hell! I'd if they played this album in full, I'd go to every show on the tour.
Yeah.
Because fucking hell, what I'd give, because they ignore this album pretty much. You get Wasted Years every so often. You've had Wasted Years more lately. Heaven Can Wait used to be a staple, but they don't play it. They haven't played it for fucking since Blaze was in the band, I don't think.
No, they've not done it since
Bruce. As for the rest of it, never.
Unless they did it when Bruce that tour when Bruce first came back, when they did like
I think Stranger in a Strange Land. I think they did Stranger in a Strange Land then.
Yeah.
When Bruce was back in the band after Blaze, but you know, the rest of it, forget it.
That was like a 3-hour show they did as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
What was that one they did in Paris?
The fans set list, I think.
Yeah, when Bruce had those really weird looking trousers on.
Yeah.
Black trousers with this white bendy round thing stuck to the side of them. Fuck knows what he was wearing. That was the very first tour when he came back, wasn't it? But that was a really long set, apparently.
Yeah. Actually, there's a bootleg of this on YouTube, this tour, because and it starts off with actually audio clips from Steve Harris saying he actually wanted to record this, record the album, like record the tour and release it live. And apparently Rod was like, "No, we ain't doing it. It costs too much money." So that's the end of it. And Steve was like, "Well," he for once he didn't argue with Rod, but he really wanted to release this. And there's a really pretty good bootleg actually of the whole tour. I started watching it the other night. It's pretty cool. Yeah. What you doing? Go on.
Yeah, you just
Right. Right, yeah.
This is recorded in Chicago on the 11th of March 1987. Okay. Not bad. Sounds pretty good as well. But yeah, you never got the vision.
No, the YouTube, obviously the video, it's from camera footage, I imagine, because we know Harris films every show. So somehow that's been leaked or whatever, or someone filmed it in the thingy on an proper old school camcorder, because it looks fucking shit. But obviously it's a product of the time. You know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously there was plenty of cameras around. I mean, there's plenty of photos from the tour. There would have been venues in certain venues. Certain venues just came with the cameras. And it's obviously clips. But apparently, no, they never apparently blew his budget on the Live After Death tour. Another thing I read was that it was a bit of hassle. We just did a live album, don't need another one. That was kind of the mentality. But it was the one tour that they didn't fully document.
Yeah.
So I think it is that video you're referring to. I think it's a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
I think the person that put it together is collected.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And there's a couple of audio concerts, but
yeah, there is, because one other Davey does the Snowman Walking in the Air. Does it as a guitar solo. It sounds fucking so good.
Do you want to read do you want me to read you the set list?
Yeah, go on, because I don't actually know the set list from that tour.
It's not actually it's a long show, but there's not actually that many songs. They chuck all the long ones in there. So opening with Caught Somewhere in Time, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Children of the Damned, Stranger in a Strange Land, Wasted Years, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner,
fucking hell.
Guitar Solo,
which would have been,
Heaven Can Wait, Phantom of the Opera, Hallowed Be Thy Name, Iron Maiden.
Yeah, they're all long. You've only got Wasted Years and Maiden, Iron Maiden, which are shorter than 6 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's a proper set list, mate. I tell you.
Yeah, I've bought this on a market stall.
There you go.
Where were we? Yeah, so
Talk about our songs that have not played live.
Yeah, I think they opened with Caught Somewhere in Time, and then that was it. I don't think they've ever played it since.
That's another thing. Why is it called Caught Somewhere in Time, not Somewhere in Time? Because it's almost but not quite a title track.
Oh yeah, I thought of it like that. Mind you, Caught Somewhere in Time don't. I suppose Somewhere in Time is just shorter, isn't it? Just
yeah. But why not call the song Somewhere in Time? And have the title track? It's weird.
Yeah.
But one of them things, isn't it?
So moving on to one of the best singles, one of the best songs Maiden have ever done.
There's no coincidence that it's written by Adrian Smith, just on his own. You can tell straight away it sounds different, but still sounds Maiden.
Funny enough, I remember when I watched 12 Wasted Years on video, which you lent me.
Yeah, that's great video, great tour, great video retrospective there.
Yeah, and I hadn't actually got this album at the time, so I was still piecing the collection together. And obviously, this was it opens with the video of Somewhere in Time, doesn't it? And that was whilst watching that was some of the top. It was the first time I heard some of these songs, and it was the first time I properly heard Wasted Years. It was on Best of the Beast and that, but it was first time I actually focused on the song, if you know what I mean. It was just, and that opening riff just rings out. It instantly recognisable. As soon as you hear it, you'll never forget it. And I'm glad, actually, in one way. I mean, it was one of those songs that I wish they played more often, but at the same time, I don't, because they.
It's nice to hear it, and
I might get burnt out. It's nice to miss it.
You don't want to run to the hills fucking scenario.
Exactly. So it was nice when they brought it into the set. When did they first do it? It was on the what was that tour where they sort of redid Life After Death and chucked in a few other
somewhere back in time.
Somewhere back in time, wasn't it? And then they put
it
on at the end.
England and World Slavery Tour together, because you got fucking Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner and Seventh Son in the same set list.
Yeah, fucking epic,
crazy.
And
but they dropped Still Life. Boo.
Yeah. Again, I don't think Still Life's been played since
Maiden England. It should have been on that tour, but because they mixed the two fucking tours together, they had to drop something, and it was Still Life and Killers got dropped.
But then they did Seventh Son on the next tour anyway, didn't they? So that was fucking pointless. But never mind. Well, did they do Seventh Son? I thought they finished with Moonchild.
Moonchild started the encore, because on the original tour, Moonchild opened the set, but they started the encore with Moonchild.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so and they also finished the Book of Souls tour with Wasted Years.
Yeah, with Wasted Years.
That was always called the way they finished. What would be not Number of the Beast. What would have Run to the Hills for the 1,000th time, and they never introduced it either. They just went into it, which I thought was always cool.
Yeah.
But a brilliant song. A hit single that doesn't sort of take away the sort of.
Yeah. It's a hit single, but it doesn't sound like it's been written to be a hit single. It's just a fucking great songwriter writing a song. It's
not a song that he gets tired of. It's not like just some radio fodder. It is genuinely a great song. It's one of the few songs that are personal by Iron Maiden.
It's about, obviously it's about them reflecting on the tours and all that. And I imagine, especially because of the World Slavery Tour, where they were like, fucking hell, we miss our family, miss all our, miss all this, that and the other. And it's almost like them growing up. They had their fucking bit of fun on the tour, no doubt a lot of stuff went up their nose and down their gullet and all that, and I imagine they're reflecting on it in this. That's the way I'll take it anyway.
And I think as well, just from the listener's point of view, it's just a good song about if you are feeling a bit down, maybe feeling a bit, things aren't going too good, or maybe you're missing something in the past, you're feeling a bit nostalgic. When you are feeling nostalgic, it isn't a good thing. It's nice to indulge, but don't dwell in nostalgia, because nostalgia means you're not happy where you are now. So you need to reflect on that, get hold of it, and go, right, what's wrong here? And that's what this song's about, I think. It's like, right, fair enough, but realise you are living now, and now's the time to, the best times aren't gone, the best times are ahead. So shake it off and get on with it is the message I get from this song. A positive one at that.
Yeah, it is a nice positive song.
Didn't like the Devil Driver cover though. Got to.
No, yeah, I was quite interested to hear that because I love Devil Driver, but obviously musically it was on it, but obviously Des, being Des, was like, right, I'm going to do it my own style. But fair play to him, he did it his own way, but no, it didn't work.
Didn't quite work. Bit like the Painkiller cover by Def. It's like.
It was good intentions, but
maybe on paper, but no, it didn't. Yeah. So straight into Sea of Madness. Now this is a really good song.
Another one written straight by Adrian. I mean, that's 2 tracks. And when have you ever seen 2 tracks on an album not written by Steve?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, mate. It just shows how strong a songwriter that Adrian is. And this is completely different to Wasted Years. This is heavy as a motherfucker. Again, it's great atmospherics, great dynamism, and the bass and drums. It's weird because the bass and drums actually lock in the rhythm, and they almost do their own thing. Just let the guitars dance around over the top, and it's a new Maiden. Not normally known for doing that style. Steve and Nico or Steve and Clive are always locked in, but never just them solely. While the guitars do something a bit different, and this is a great song. It just sticks with you. And the chorus with the vocal harmonies as well is it's epic. I love it. Love everything about the song.
Yeah.
Played this live.
Yeah, no, totally agree with you. And I thought there was a woman doing backing vocal, even though Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it goes through different stages as well, this song. There's loads going on. And so it starts off straightforward enough, but that little midsection, it just kind of goes off.
Yeah, a little interlude bit, goes off on a tangent. It's
a great little solo section. Again, every song on this album just fits together. It all just connects. And they really did. Yeah, they kind of tried repeating it on the next album, but an underrated song. We've gone from tracks with fillers to underrated album track that's got lost somewhere in the And just to reflect as well, you're saying about Adrian contributing massively to this album. I mean, as much as Steve Harris can be a bit of the tunnel visions, and he's rubbed members up the wrong way in the past because what he says goes, but he obviously didn't have an ego.
Oh no, he's obviously he's like
excuse me.
I don't give a fuck if the song's written by someone else and it's fucking good. It goes on the album.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like you say, there is no ego with that man at all. Or he's just driven to make Maiden the best it can be, and it's refreshing because you see so many bands these days, even bands from this era, still going, and it's just egocentric bullshit. It's fucking bollocks, and that's why Maiden are so refreshing even to this day.
Yeah, I mean, there's other bands as well where that a new member will come in and it's like I wasn't allowed to write. They didn't want another member earning royalties.
Wasn't even allowed to be on the album.
Who's that?
Newstead on and Justice for All wasn't even allowed to be on the album, despite being on the EP that came before it. So like we say, the egos are fucking running riot, and Steve Harris has never had one.
I think Slayer really missed the beat as well with getting Gary Holt in the band. It was like if you just wanted someone to play the songs and do a bit of soloing, you could have hired some 19-year-old. Like you got one of the best.
To be fair to Kerry King, he even said himself the next album Gary Holt would have written on.
Yeah, I'm skeptical about that.
I used to have a problem with Kerry King, but I think
I don't have a problem with him.
I actually believed. I thought he come across as legit, and I think Gary Holt would have written on the next Slayer album.
Yeah, but not to be.
Yeah, but yeah.
Anyway, so Sea of Madness leading into. I actually confuse this with Clairvoyant quite a lot because it is kind of the same setup, but yeah, the instant good mood inducing bass riff lead with
the intro is amazing.
Yeah, and
Heaven Can Wait. And this is almost like Smith and Adrian and Steve are having a running battle. They're like, right, off you go, son. I've just laid down the gauntlet. Right, I'll fucking take that. Hold my beer. And I'll write a fucking 2 good songs. Off you go. It's your turn. Right, hold my beer. And it works because they're fucking just trading brilliant songs.
Yeah.
And this one's no exception.
Yeah. I mean, I love the introduction. You know, I love that bass. And then that.
Yeah, but you missed out the lead bits over the intro that are so fucking good. So
yeah, I'm saying it builds. It just layer upon layer. And then it all just comes together. Then you've got the... you know, the song just rolls. It's like a rugby player with a ball. It just runs across the bridge, knocking everyone out of its way. And then you've got that epic bit in the middle. I mean,
it's awesome.
Beautiful guitar solo. But yeah, of course, you've got the just the break, dun, 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 and then take my hand, I'll lead you across. And then you have that bit in the concert when all the crew come out. I think you could fans as well. I think you could win a competition. And then they all got around. Whoa! And then you get that. And then they all run back off again.
It's brilliant.
And they even did it with Blaze.
Been played live since Blaze was in the band, I don't think, on the X Factor tour.
I think they did it on Virtue 11 tour as well.
Yes, they did. But you're talking since Blaze gone. You're talking fucking 20 years since this song has even seen the light of day. I mean, it's shocking.
You would think it would be a mainstay as well, because surely the whoa section...
Because of the crowd interaction, yeah.
Yeah, you think that alone, it'd be like, well, that's done, yeah. That'll never fail. So, this is the thing. We were getting into I think we're getting into the point of the catalogue now where we're getting through, we've got past the filler and we're getting into the gems.
And then you might not use it.
Sorry, mate. Let the cat out.
Oh, right. I thought Kerry was giving us her insight on.
Yeah, no, she's busy doing her training, but yeah. So no, I mean, this song, you know, play for fuck's sake, you know.
And yeah, bring it back. It's a great song, great anthem, a well-known song as well. I mean, I think it's on all the compilations as well, but.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, saying that, it's probably fair to say that they couldn't play this live anymore anyway, because they used to play it so fucking fast back in the day. Bruce used to get out of breath. I mean, on Maiden England, Bruce was physically out of breath trying to sing it. So imagine him singing it now, he'd fucking die.
Yeah, I mean, he has trouble, but the best of us trouble keeping up with Aces High.
Exactly. But that's why you can tell.
Beginning.
There's certain songs that have slowed down just a touch. Phantom of the Opera has, Aces High has, and they've worked better for it because it's not so much of a rush. But I think if you slow down Heaven Can Wait, you lose the power of the song. So perhaps it's a good thing it doesn't come back.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, and we're sitting here saying that Bruce Dickinson's vocals ain't as good as they are. I mean, fuck's sake. Geezer's in his 60, he smashed cancer around, yet he still sounds. We can forgive him for not being up to standard, I don't think.
I don't fucking care about that anyway. People were caning David Lee Roth, you know, because he wasn't note perfect every song on his residency. So what? He's fucking David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
You know, are you? Where are you now? You know, you as good as you were 20 years ago? Yeah, he's got old. So have you. So what? He's here for fuck's sake.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be the same with Ozzy. It'll be like, just watch them while they're here, you know?
Yeah.
And, that's that rant over. But, yeah, right. Yeah. On to a song that I don't think has ever been played live.
No. And it's, it's the weakest on the album, but that shows you what a high bar. Well, in my opinion, anyway, it's weakest on the album, but it shows what a high bar has been set. Because if a song like this is the one that you're saying, "Oh, this is the weakest one on the album," fuck's sake, you know, there's most bands would kill to have this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my least favourite. My least favourite's still to come. But I think this is a song that I think we sent each other a list of underrated Iron Maiden songs, didn't we? Top 10 Iron Maiden underrated.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an episode we could do one day. And this is one that slipped my mind, actually. I think it's a really good song. I never used to like it, actually.
Didn't you send me this, or did I send it to you? That guy who plays classical guitar, who played the whole song on his own out in the desert somewhere.
Yeah, yes.
And the guy who worked with Blaze Bayley, you said.
Yeah, he plays on one Blaze Bayley album. He was in his touring band for a little while, and then they occasionally, if you see Blaze Bayley doing an acoustic show, it's with this guy, and he's released a couple of albums called Nylon Maiden, and it's all Spanish guitar, and occasionally they're mainly instrumental albums, but then Blaze has appeared on a couple of tracks as well. I did the really good video of he's sitting in a church, and so you got like a stained glass window, and it's like a really nice church, and he does Judgment of Heaven. That's really good.
Right.
So yeah, there's a Thomas something. His name escapes me, but yeah, he is on a future Blaze Bayley album. Yeah, fucking. I never used to like this song for some reason, and I don't know why, because it's awesome.
Yeah,
and
basically the same. You used to skip it, but now it's as you get a bit older, you appreciate it on a different level.
Yeah, just the guitars on this track are just fucking phenomenal. Nico just keeps that beat, just
Yeah, and it's constant, isn't it? Constant.
And Smith and Murray are just.
Oh, they're on fire, aren't they? I mean, they've been on fire they was on fire on Power Slave, but on this they just fucking they're beyond on fire. I mean, they are fucking just blazing.
Yeah, the solos, the melodies, the riffs, everything just comes together in this beautiful fucking tapestry of guitar playing, and a criminally underrated Iron Maiden song. I would love to see this one done live as well. Yeah. And what a contrast for the last two albums to this album. It's
big time.
And then we got the next single, really. Another, Wasted Years was a good radio song, but I think this is another really accessible song.
And again, written by Smithy, just showing. But this is again different to the other songs he's written on the album, which just shows.
Yeah.
The three songs he's written, they're all different, but they're all killer.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Again,
I mean that riff, fuck's sake.
Just that brilliant introduction. That dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, simple drum and bass intro.
Yeah,
that riff, mate.
And then fucking
Maiden don't do riffs really, but they're normally all about melodies, aren't they, or sort of dual bits. But this is one of those Maiden riffs that hits you in the fucking balls. It's like boom,
and you can play a heavier version of that as well. Like you can imagine.
Oh yeah,
a band like Down, or some groove metal band like Hell Yeah, just Vinnie Paul style drumming in this as well.
Yeah.
He just holds the beat just with a few good feels in the middle, leading into the next bit, and great riffing, great melodies.
That's the good thing about Nico. You've mentioned it there, groove metal, Vinnie Paul. Nico knew how to hold a groove. Yeah. And he knew when to not overplay, when to just let the riff do the talking. And this is one of those prime examples, because he could be as virtuoso as the fucking. I mean, he's a criminally underrated drummer. Some of the fucking licks he does, when you see him live doing his licks, it's crazy. But when it comes to songs, he knows exactly what to do and exactly what not to do. And this is one of those songs where he knows exactly what not to do. Just let it flow. That's brilliant.
I mean, when you see like your Michael Portnoy's and, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm in awe of many a drummer. I wish I could drum, and I probably watch more drum videos than you do. I'm always sending you them, but I just watch that, and you see these.
Yeah.
But Nico don't. He kind of just you know drums the beat, but then it's that little bit in between that you go, whoa, what was that?
He does these crazy little fills that are just like you say, where the fuck did that come from? But never once does he go out of time. Never once does he drop a stick. Never once does he fuck up. You know, it's brilliant. He's a fucking machine. And he's 67? What?
Yeah, exactly. He's just just unique as well, because he doesn't it's the whole thing where he only uses one pedal, you know, when everyone else is doing drop lead. He's like, no, I don't. Simple as that. And
I've tried playing his stuff, some of his one pedal stuff on one pedal, and it don't happen. It's two pedal. He gets two pedals in one. The guy's ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous.
He explained how he did it as well, but it still didn't make sense.
I know how he does it because he has just a really responsive pedal. The spring action is so loose.
Yeah, it was like you need to tighten it so it, and then instead of boom, it goes boom or something like that. Yeah.
But no, it's crazy. You know, he's ridiculous drummer, ridiculous. You know, he's 20 fucking 6 years older than me, and I can't do half the shit he does now. You know, it's a joke.
So yeah, Stranger in a Strange Land is probably one of the most straightforward songs on the album. One of the most straightforward songs Maiden's ever done, thinking of it. And normally, you know, you got a galloping riff or this is just a simple dun 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 dun, dun. You know, it just it just rolls. You know, it's and again, it never really did anything like it again. You know, now is it? No, it's not Deja Vu. It's Alexander the Great. I wanted to, but yeah, right. There's something that reminds me of another song later on, but we'll get to that then. I thought it was Deja Vu, but it wasn't. Yeah. When I first heard this song, I thought I'd heard it somewhere before. Hey! Oh, wow.
Fucking hell, he's here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
What do you think of Deja Vu? I'll let you take the lead on this one.
I love it. I fucking love it because I have a soft spot for Dave Murray songs anyway. Have you noticed through the series we've done so far, I've always picked him out. And he has a way of writing that is unique to the band. Which is crazy when you consider how many unique writers they have already. You can tell a Dave Murray song. And this for me is no different. This is one that sort of hooked me. It's the shortest song on the album, but when I say short, it's fucking 5 minutes. But it's a weird structure for Maiden. It's weird timing. It's almost double time all the way through, and it's dual vocals all the way through, like double track vocals, which something they never did again. I mean, it's you know, and solo, fucking hell, Dave Murray sees the fretboard off on the solo. So yeah, very very underrated for me. So I imagine you're going to go the complete opposite.
I don't dislike the song, but it's my least. The next two songs are probably my least favourite, actually. I think we're on a winning... But it's not that I don't like them. I do like...
Going there, are you, with Alexander the Great?
I think Deja Vu is... I think pretty much... I just prefer Long Distance Runner with the way the riffing goes. I just think it... But, again, if this is as bad as it gets, you know...
Yeah, I mean, you know, the shows
I still like it.
There's no fucking sun and steel on this, mate. You know, there's no quest for fire. This is constant goodness.
Yeah, and I think it drops ever so slightly, but again, it's not a bad thing. Anyway, I think it's more to do with Bruce's vocals. I think well, it's not even Bruce because he didn't write it, but I just think the chorus and you know, you're singing about Deja Vu. Did you really run out of stuff to sing about? You know, that's my...
If you could, that tends to be that's a Steve Harrisism though, isn't it? Because you know, don't you think I'm a stranger? Don't you think I'm a savior? You know, you know, Harris has got like Seventh Son. The chorus of Seventh Son is just the title over and over again. That's a Harrisism, and that never goes away.
Yeah, I think it's more to do with that. But you know, there's some great riffs in there, some great melodies, and it's far from a bad song, but this is the one song I can sort of take or leave. But it's not that I don't enjoy it when it's on. That's all.
Yeah.
And you got anything more to say on Deja Vu?
Yeah, I mean, I've just said it. I love the song. It's it's to the point. It's great. It's Dave Murray. What's not to like?
Didn't you just say that? Oh, never mind. God, we could do this all day, couldn't we?
Yeah, I know, mate. Yeah, fucking stroll on.
Right, now we are moving on to the epic closer of the album that we are accustomed to now with Iron Maiden albums. I just want to ask a question, right? What is the big fucking mystique about this song? I don't understand why there is this, Alexander the Great's never been played live, and they never can play it live because it's such a mysterious, wonderful, intricate song.
It's the rumour goes that they bottled the solos.
Is that it? Because I heard it was something to do with the
solo section where they trade solos over that middle section. They trade about 8 or 9 solos, I think. And that's as the rumour goes. It's that section that Dave and Adrian were like, "Nah, fuck that. We did it in the studio, never again."
So there's a bastard to record.
Yeah, bastard to play. Obviously, Harris wrote it, and he's gone, "Right, play this." And they're like, "Well, fuck you. You play it." And he's like, "No, you play it." And they're like, "All right, but we ain't doing it again." And that's as the room goes. It is that solo section, yeah.
Because I just think, right, seventh son of a seventh son, Ryan Ancient Mariner, Sign of the Cross, the whole Matter of Life and Death album. I just don't get.
I think it is the technicality that was in the song, and listening to it from, obviously, I'm a drummer, so my ear is tuned differently. But hearing that, I could imagine that would be a slut to fucking try and recreate. And if you ain't going to do it properly, I wouldn't even attempt it.
Yeah.
I think it's the one time they've ever written something when they've gone, "Oh, fuck, we've got to play this live." Shit.
I think they didn't they try it once, but it didn't work or something, so they have technically done it? Or...
Yeah, I don't think they ever made it live, though. I think it might have made a rehearsal when they were
right. Yeah, they were playing in rehearsal and it just weren't.
So I mean, it's the holy grail of Maiden songs to be played live. If you're ever at a gig and they bust this out, you might as well do the lottery because that's how lucky you've been.
But again, I always get this big, Alexander the Great's going to start. This is the fucking maddest song ever. But it's the one song that they don't play live, and I just sort of listen to it and go, "What's the fuss about?" I don't. Yeah. Now. That's nothing to do with how good the song is. That's a completely different subject. I just can't understand why they, there's.
I think it is that, feel free to fucking prove me wrong, anyone, but I think that's the reason.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it was even mentioned in an interview recently. What's the one song that's never been played that you wish you could? And Nick goes straight away, Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Because it's fairly easy on drums in comparison, although it's like 8.5 minutes. It doesn't. It's fairly straightforward for him. There's a few tricky bits in there, but nothing mental.
And the introduction, very similar to Sign of the Cross. That thingy drum beat. Yeah. And
well, we should say that Sign of the Cross is very similar to Alexander the Great. So.
Well, that's what I meant to say.
Fucking hell! I was going to say, considering there was so long between them, but there was only 9 years between that song and that song.
Mm.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. And
time flies, mate.
So, what do you think of? I mean, I think it's a really good song, and
I think it's the musical journey. Obviously. It's not.
I want to say it's an epic song, but for Iron Maiden songs, it's relatively short.
I mean, it's still at the time. This was still the second longest song they ever did because it's like 8.5 minutes. So you had obviously Mariner, which was 13.5. Then you had this, which was 8.5. But musically, there's so much going on in this.
It's quite proppy. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Oh, it is big time, and it's the sound. What helps it is what we've already discussed with the sound quality, with the synths and all that. They give it this sort of otherworldly, almost mystical sort of quality that no other song has got, like no other Maiden album has got. This song probably won't work on No Prayer or Fear of the Dark because it needs those synths. It needs that added layer of thingy, and it works for me. And it's a fantastic way. It's almost majestic. Some of the music in it, you know, and that long note at the end that Bruce holds. It's not his longest note, but the way it ends the song. Oh, fucking hell. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now, and being able to listen to it through headphones, because that's why I've loved doing this with you, because I've been able to listen to the stuff through headphones. I don't do it very often. Normally it's on in the car or it's on YouTube or whatever, but actually sitting down with the lights off with headphones on and just being totally immersed in the music, I've such an appreciation for songs I didn't even realise I had, and this is one of them. I mean, I've always loved the song, but some of the music is majestic.
Yeah, well, and that last note as well, when Bruce again, it's a bit like the I guess it's the opposite other side of the coin, really. It's the note he holds when "Hallowed Be Thy Name" kicks in. When the band just erupts, but he just stays still.
Going.
And it's kind of the same sort of trick, really, but the opposite way round. Oh shit! And when he just holds that note at the end, and then you know, and no, don't get me wrong. It's a hit in the catalogue, and it's a fantastic album closer. But again, I just don't get why this is the one that they, you know, it's the song that defeats Maiden, and I just think, hold on a minute, like fucking hell, especially some of the stuff that comes later, Jesus. But that's my only thing with it. But it's actually, you know, quite, for Maiden standards, I just don't see what the thing is. But it is a very, very cool song, very majestic, like you say, quite proggy in places as well. I mean, Dream Theater would have loved to have written this.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is arguably where the prog thing of Maiden begins. You know, because again, I mean,
no, this is where I disagree with a lot of people. I think it was always there.
Oh no, there was always elements, but I think this is where Harris really, because it's almost like we've said, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner ended that era of Maiden. And this is like the clean slate time. It's almost like he's thought, right, you know, them proggy bits we had in the past, well, there's going to be more of them. Get on board or fuck off.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's really, for me, because obviously you had Seventh Son, and it changed a bit with No Prayer and that, but
it's like when people say no Prayer for the Dying was them returning to their roots. They returned to the first album and kept it simple. It's like, the first album weren't simple. What are you talking about? Yeah. I just don't get that. I suppose it was more of a heavy metal, heavy metal album. But then again,
I disagree with you on that. But we'll get to that obviously in a few albums' time. So
what's that? Sorry, what did you disagree with me
on? You know, when you talk about No Prayer and all that, going back to basics, I happen to agree with that statement, but I disagree with the way you say it. But we'll have that discussion.
Yeah, in a few albums. Fair enough. Well, you know, the disagreeing is the good bit about the show. But like you say as well, mate, I've wanted to do this for a long time, and I really wanted to go through each album and really dissect it properly, just like I used to do with the rock show with Gully and Joe. But there was no way we was gonna be able to ever get through it, because we would do a different album.
47 Maiden episodes or whatever.
No, I couldn't think of anyone better I wanted to do it with, because no one knows Maiden the way I do, the way you do. So that was why I wanted to do it as a separate entity. And being able to sit down and go album by album and really dissect it, really go into it, is what I wanted to do this project for. So, I'm having fun. Are you?
Yeah, big time. I fucking love it. You know, obviously the old enthusiasm drops a bit when you get the Diano solo stuff, but it's like, but some of it I've never even heard, because I've steered clear of it. You know, it's like,
there's a big bag of enthusiasm because you've got a long couple of weeks ahead.
I know, yeah.
Let's not get into it. Let's not give away any spoilers. But next week we've got we are doing this. If you haven't cottoned on already, or if you are new to the show, we will be doing all of the Maiden albums and all of the members' and ex-members'
Offshoots,
albums,
yeah.
solo
Yeah, all
albums, side projects.
chronologically, we're going to do it. So, yeah, no
Everything
fucking
in
about.
between,
Do it properly.
in the order it was released, yeah. So, and I think it does put things into perspective a lot better as well. So, yeah, next week we've got Battle Zone, Fighting Back, and then following up with, I was going to say Sea of Madness, Children of Madness.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do it in one episode or... Well, we're going to do it...
Do it in two.
Split it in two, yeah. Otherwise, listeners might get a bit...
Right, you've done it again. You've jumped ahead without scoring. What's your score on this?
I'd give this a 9 out of 10. Or probably a 10 out of 10. I mean, the Deja Vu I'm a little bit... but even then, it's not a fucking bad song. And it's still better than, Lost for Words, say. So, I mean, it's as close as a perfect album as Iron Maiden do get. I think I certainly like it and regard it higher in my favourite albums than I used to. I think it's an album a lot of people overlook, actually. So I'll put
it's always the one they go, oh, you got the classics, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, and Seventh Son, and I'm like, well, fucking hang about. Somewhere in time, if that ain't classic, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And for that reason, for me, it's a definite 10. I mean, you could even Spinal Tap it and go up to 11 because it just oozes perfection for me. It hooked me at 13 when I first got into Maiden, like properly when I could really understand metal and whatever, and it just never let go. And every fucking listen, I find something new, find a new bit of music, a new intricacy or a new melody or something, and it's as deep as the artwork on the front of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like I say, 10 out of 10 for me, easy.
This is the album where you get the whole package. Everything comes together. Yes. Yeah.
Everything, big time.
Awesome. Right, well, thanks for coming back. If you've been following us from the beginning, welcome aboard if you are new to the show. And thanks for watching. Please like and share, and share it about and with your Maiden friends. Yep. And
share it.
We will see you next week with Battle Zone, and then we've got Seventh Son coming up. Lots to cover. And see you all soon. Have a good weekend.
Laters.